Deep inside a buried luxury villa lies one of the greatest historical prizes ever found, a massive ancient library. Historians believe it belonged to the father-in-law of Julius Caesar, holding the lost wisdom of antiquity. But in 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted. A sudden, devastating wave of volcanic ash instantly swallowed the entire seaside town. The 500-degree volcanic gases racing through the villa flash-fried hundreds of papyrus scrolls, baking them into solid, brittle chunks of charcoal. The greatest literary discovery of antiquity was immediately rendered useless, frozen within the ash, and unreachable for 2,000 years. The site stayed hidden until the 18th century, when a farm worker digging a well accidentally struck marble, uncovering the buried ruins of Herculaneum far below the modern surface. Early explorers were desperate to see what was written inside. They tried forcing the fragile scrolls open, literally slicing them down the middle with knives, or peeling the layers away like onions. These physical interventions were disastrous. Priceless historical texts immediately shattered, crumbling into meaningless confetti the moment human hands applied pressure. Recognizing the damage, archaeologists locked the remaining intact scrolls away, deciding to wait for future, non-destructive technology to catch up. This left modern researchers with a massive hurdle. They had to figure out how to read a book that would instantly disintegrate the second they tried to open it. Centuries later, that technology arrived. Scientists realized they could bypass human hands entirely and digitally unroll the texts using massive particle accelerators. They blasted the charcoal logs with high-energy X-rays, generating an incredibly detailed 3D digital map of the twisted, crumpled layers locked inside the scroll. But the investigation hit a wall. Ancient Roman ink was carbon-based, derived from soot. This diagram shows the central problem. Because the soot ink and the burnt papyrus paper are chemically identical, the X-ray beams pass through both equally. There is zero contrast, making the ancient letters completely invisible. Structural scanning alone wasn't enough. The researchers had captured the internal geometry of the entire document, but the fire had perfectly camouflaged the text. To solve this, a global competition called the Vesuvius Challenge was launched. Two researchers, Yusuf Nader and Julian Schilliger, approached the invisible ink problem from a completely different angle. Take a look at this microscopic view of the papyrus surface. They deduced that even though the ink is chemically identical to the paper, it was applied slightly thicker, leaving microscopic physical textures and crackles on the surface. They built and trained custom artificial intelligence models to scan through the massive 3D X-ray files. The software was programmed to specifically hunt for these tiny textural anomalies and trace their shapes. The AI successfully navigated the digital folds and began highlighting hidden Greek letters. The very first word they decoded was porphyros, translating to the color purple. Artificial intelligence had solved a 2,000-year-old archaeological mystery. It didn't read the ink, it recognized invisible physical patterns hidden inside the destroyed evidence. As whole sentences and paragraphs emerged, the true nature of the text came into focus. These weren't tax ledgers or receipts, they were the works of an ancient philosopher. The writer discusses the sensory pleasures of life. The text details the enjoyment of music, the taste of food, and the lifelong pursuit of human happiness. Despite 2 millennia of technological change, the core human focus on finding happiness in daily life remains identical to what was buried by Vesuvius. Now, the scope of this project is expanding. Hundreds of these unreadable, blackened scrolls are currently sitting in museums around the world, waiting to be fed into the AI models. The potential stakes are massive. Archaeologists believe thousands more scrolls remain undiscovered, still buried deep underground in the unexcavated lower levels of the Herculaneum villa. By decoding a single piece of charcoal, researchers have proven that records once thought destroyed are still accessible.
Like, share, and comment. Subscribe.